or under with Dr. J. The show provides solutions to any of your personal or work-related problems in under 5 minutes. We guarantee you will discover a new aspect of yourself, and you'll see others in a whole new light. To gain this insight, write your questions to jerlik05@gmail.com. If your question is chosen for a show topic, you will receive a free test, a free profile from jerlik.com, the most precise personality profile on the market.
Welcome, folks. This is Dr. J with jerlik.com, Jerlik. And this question is from Larry from Denver. He asks, why do so few people stay with personal growth? Well, that's a great question, Larry, and one that goes right to the core of so many people's lives. I meet so many people who tell me they believe in personal growth. They're working in personal growth. And it is amazing, though, when push comes to shove, what we run into. It's hard, folks. I remember talking to the CEO. He had built up 3 prominent, successful companies. And I asked him, I said, how do you do this? How do you so consistently, and you'll see them, those kind of people around, Mark, the one who handles the Dallas Cowboys, and how he moves from one success to another, and this happens a lot, at least to those few people, because they've learned how to do it within. And when they do, it's an amazing thing. But first comes the growth step. But what this CEO said to me was, he said, Jay, if this was easy, everyone would do it. And that's a fact. Now, let's look at personal growth. It's all around us and no one can escape it. But we either grow or we just keep moving in regimented, regulated, automated, consistent behaviors that we formed since we were kids. I always tell people, the child drives the adult in every male, and every female. I meant every adult, folks. Don't get all excited about the male. What happens is that we're constantly faced with the possibilities of growth. If we're in the workplace, no matter where we are, there's room for conflict everywhere because we each put our stuff out on the table. The stuff that is not part of our growth points, the stuff that comes from our defense, the stuff comes from where we're stuck, the stuff comes from where we don't want to be responsible. But when we see this in the workplace, maybe it's somebody on a team or in your department, and you get stuck with things because they don't do what they're supposed to do. They don't do what they say they're going to do. But they just keep leaving you hanging. And not only do you do all your work, but you do theirs too. And you know how this feels, and it irks you, and it makes you angry and frustrated inside. But when that happens, that immediately sets up your own defenses. And when those defenses begin to get touched, or buttons we call getting pressed, then what happens is your worst side comes out. Now, that is how the opportunity for growth, that's what it feels like. So capture that in your mind and capture that feeling in your gut, because that's exactly what happens. And at that point, you either turn what has been a regimented, automated way of behaving to just keep going and reinforcing its old problematic ways, or you have an opportunity to change it. And the opportunity to change it is take a step back and say, okay, I know this button's being pressed because we feel agitated, we feel angry, and we don't like that person right now. So we got to look at it. All begins, growth begins, or as Truman said, the buck stops here. And begin to look why we're so angry. Now the obvious remains. They're dumping on me. They're doing this, they're doing that. We know the obvious. But why are we really getting angry? Because this has to be dealt with, yes. And it can be dealt with at the right timing. But first comes taking care of your own business. Because that's what makes growth so hard. Its ownership stops inside. Where I say I am responsible as long as I am overreacting, as long as I am angry. When we get to the point that we can speak the truth and not worry about what happens, not worry that we press the button of the other person, not worry that that other person comes back and rejects us, right? That's what we're defending against. But we become like prickly porcupines just to defend the soft stuff inside. But folks, that's where it begins, to be vulnerable. And we have to reach a place where, number one, we settle down. Number two, we know we're going to deal with it in a right way, in a caring way. And we know that it's either going to go forward or it's going to stop. So, folks, we take care of it. We don't run from it, but we take care of business in-house first. That's the pathway to growth, and that's the pathway for dealing with difficult situations in difficult people. People whose reactions and behaviors bring out our worst. Now, I want you to get that down, and that's one we may pick up again. So stay tuned to 5 and Under, and we love you. Take care.